Hello and welcome to the morning edition of MBC News here right on MBC with me, Simon Boyce. But first, the top stories. President Mutharika says he will announce a full cabinet next week with a warning to dismiss non-performance. Samia Suleiman elected Speaker of the Malawi National Assembly. And in sports, sponsor for Malawi women's football team, National Bank of Malawi pledges full support to the team after its remarkable 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualification. Glad you could join us. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says he will announce full cabinet next week and has sounded a strong warning that he will dismiss non-performance. President Mutharika said this upon his arrival in Lilongwe on Tuesday, where he is expected to fulfill a number of official duties. Chisomo Break reports.
President Mutharika said his full cabinet will be lean to save public resources at a time when the country is passing through economic challenges that require stringent financial prudence. He then warned that he would not hesitate to fire any cabinet minister who does not perform to the expectations of Malawians.
Ena akagunja komera yingadi agamba kusera la josa right away. And I'm serious. I'm not joking. With the ena agwe kilo. Ame sakura kilo ajoka. Yo people abya. Ya ame ngatui papa
President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika further emphasized that he expects every Malawian to get to work, emphasizing that it is only through hard work that the country can achieve massive transformation.
Yambe kubira nchito naika misonkano yambe kuliti wene nimota wina ifanya misonkano so pano next seg nikubira nchito chito namulamezo I say roll up your sleeves and work.
As President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika arrived in Lilongwe on Sunday, the air was thick, the mood electric, as enthusiastic supporters gave him a thunderous welcome. Chisomo Break, MBC News, Blantyre.
Members of Parliament have elected Samia Suleiman as a Speaker of the National Assembly. Samia Suleiman has subsequently taken oath of office and has started discharging duties. Meanwhile, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika and the First Lady, Madam Gertrude Mutharika, have congratulated Honorable Samia Suleiman on his election as Speaker of the National Assembly. The President states that he has confidence that Suleiman is the man capable of steering deliberations in the House for the betterment of the mother Malawi. President Mutharika has since pledged his support to Suleiman, as well as Honorable Victor Musowa and Honorable Esther Jolobala, who have been elected as First Deputy and Second Deputy Speaker, respectively. Members of Parliament have elected Samia Suleiman as a Speaker of the National Assembly. Samia Suleiman has subsequently taken oath of office. For more details in this report by Main Tumoti.
I'm excited, and first of all I want to express my gratitude to the President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, for nominating me to lead Parliament. I will always be grateful to the President, and it's a promise that I'm making today to the President and to Malawians that I've taken up the challenge and I will not disappoint. Everything is in order. As Parliament, there's a lot of things that we need to do, and I'll be championing a lot of changes as well as we go from here. So while I'm excited, at the same time I realize that the excitement comes with a huge responsibility, and I'm up for the challenge. Starting from now, it's work, work, work.
District Commissioner for Palombe, Douglas Mofati, has called on government to decentralize the mining sector by empowering district councils to be controlling mining activities in their localities. Mofati was speaking during a training for district council officials, civil society organizations, and community members on mining governance and just energy transaction. He said local communities are not benefiting from mineral extracted in their areas because decisions are made at national level and not locally. More in this report by Tumbiko Nyirongo, but read by Telson Magombo.
Speaking during opening of orientation training in Palombe, District Commissioner Douglas Moffat said decentralizing the mining sector would bring many benefits to the local communities. Moffat added that devolution of mining powers would promote accountability and transparency, as local councils would be directly answerable to their people, unlike the current setup where mining is regulated by the central government.
That Palombe is endowed with the very critical mineral resource at Nkhani. Sodarite. But for us to do that, we need to know for a better governance. But also to make sure that once we have this, there's going to be transition in terms of energy. To what extent are we transiting to have that kind of energy resource that is going to be enabler in terms of product and processing of mineral. Extraction, processing of mineral. So that is important. Remember, the mines, the minerals are existing in villages. That's their land. So we needed to have the capacity to inform the local people whether there is going to be a relocation of those people to safer to other places. The arrangement had to be clarified in accordance to other statutes of government.
Palombe district is rich in rare earth minerals, with major deposits at Songwe Hill, where Nkhani Resources is developing the Songwe Hill project. On his part, Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Policy and Advocacy, CEPA, Herbert Mwalkomo, said the organization sponsored the meeting to ensure local members understand their roles and the mining laws governing the sector in Malawi.
We are a policy research and advocacy organization focusing on environment and natural resources, and we know that one of the natural resources that we are endowed with as a country are minerals. And so knowing that recently the government signed some mining development agreements with a few companies, and in the case of Palombe, there is an agreement with Nkhani Resources to actually mine rare earths. So we saw this as an opportunity or a necessity that we should come and work with various stakeholders at district level, including government agencies, but also civil society stakeholders and communities themselves, as well as the investor, to ensure that they are shared, and there is a shared understanding of expectations as well as the roles of the various players, including understanding the various stages at which the mineral development processes are. Because sometimes when wrong expectations are created, you end up having unnecessary results. But we want at the end of the day that the mining processes that are happening or that are yet to happen should benefit the country of Malawi. And that's why we are promoting this dialogue, and that's why we are here for this orientation, to ensure that district stakeholders and government agencies are fully aware of what is happening, including the existing regulatory framework for mining resources in the country.
The two-day meeting brought together officials from the Ministry of Mining, District Council, civil society organizations, and Center for Environmental Policy and Advocacy, CEPA.
The principal resident magistrate in Lilongwe has adjourned to today a ruling on bail application for 9 people accused of robbery, arson and assault on human rights activist Sylvester Namiwa. Principal resident magistrate Benjamin Chulu said this on Wednesday afternoon. Defense lawyer led by Kadzipatike and Crispin Mdala applied for bail for the 9 accused. Defense lawyer Crispin Mdala has expressed optimism that the 9 accused will be granted bail despite objections from the state.
This is a matter that could go either way. The court could release the accused persons, but as defense counsel, I'm optimistic that the court will hear our prayer and indeed proceed to release the accused persons on bail.
And Enwood Umoja Pili is police prosecutor.
You will also recall that there are several counts that were proffered against the accused persons. And later the defense applied for bail for each of the 9 accused persons. You will recall that earlier on we registered the 6 accused persons, but yesterday 3 more were arrested, and we had to include them on the charge sheet by way of amendment. And today we had 9 accused persons in total. So all the 9 pleaded not guilty to the counts that were proffered against them. And when they actually applied for bail, we strongly objected to the application, and we actually recited the reasons why we objected to the application. In fact, the primary reason was that they would actually flee, they would evade trial. And it is our expectation that this matter should go up with the conclusion, because we're optimistic of actually securing a conviction by the end of the day because of the evidence that we have. Further to that, we also had a fear that the accused persons can easily interfere with our witnesses, because the witnesses that we have are known by the accused persons, most of them, that is to say. So the witnesses actually reside within Lilongwe, most of the witnesses, and the accused persons also are from within Lilongwe. And the accused persons know the places where the witnesses actually stay. So it is actually our fear that once they are granted bail, it is more likely that they will interfere with our witnesses.
Meanwhile, the Malawi Police Service, MPS, has arrested 3 more suspects linked to a series of violent incidents, including the Mbowe, Mponera and Panga Wooding cases. Speaking to NBC, Deputy National Police spokesperson Alfred Chintere said the arrest has been effected by a special hit squad placed at 6 miles along Bunda Road in Lilongwe. Our reporter, Geoffrey Chinawa, spoke to Chintere.
We have arrested 3 more suspects in relation to violent incidents, including the one that took place at Mbowe and Mponera. The arrest was made by our special hit squad at 6 miles along Bunda Road in Lilongwe on Monday, October 28, 2025. The suspects have been identified as David Malamula, 35, of George Village, Tieka Dewere, Kirazulu, Issa Said, 31, of Lulanga Village, Tie Makanjira, Mangochi, and Rogers Fakiri, 33, of Makola Village, Tie Mlolo, in Sanje districts. These arrests bring the total number of suspects to 9, following the area arrest of 6 others. Meanwhile, our investigations are still ongoing and more arrests are expected. We assure the public of our continued commitment to ensure that all those involved in criminal acts are brought to justice.
Residents and business owners in Lilongwe City have called for urgent action in addressing intermittent water supply in the city. The situation has been disrupting daily lives and posing health risks among the city residents. Lilongwe Water Board Chief Executive Officer Sili Mbewe says interventions are already underway to increase the production capacity to meet the demand. Catherine Banda has a report.
With Lilongwe city population fast increasing, it is obvious demand on various basics is also increasing, and that includes water services. This means Lilongwe Water Board has to constantly increase its production volumes. Some city residents have of late been complaining of intermittent water supply, calling for swift, long-lasting interventions to address the matter. Area 24 resident Stenbuino says the situation is affecting his daily routine, often causing him to be late for work as he searches for water.
The water supply challenges disrupt our household routines, especially in the morning where we have to prepare for work and we need to take a bath. We kindly ask the water authorities to consider our situation.
The issue is also affecting food vendors, who say are sometimes forced to use water from unprotected wells, risking their businesses and public health. Tendai Nkwetsere, a food seller, expressed concern over a possible cholera threat posed by the situation.
When our taps run dry, we rely on well water as an alternative. However, customers often refuse to buy from us when they find out they are getting well water, which ultimately affects our business. It's a challenge we are struggling to overcome.
The water shortage is also affecting private toilet businesses. Biwi Tank Market chairperson Maxwell Zulu warned that prolonged dry taps could lead to disease outbreaks caused by poor hygiene.
We rely on a well, which is down the road, but it is not ideal. As a big market, going for a day or two without water is quite challenging. We are asking the water authorities to consider our situation.
Water for People Country Director Kate Halawa attributes the challenge to inadequate funding for water services and some people's behaviors like deforestation in water catchment areas, among other things.
Natural resource or nature and climate change, which of course has been caused also by human impact. The second one is limited management of water supply systems.
Meanwhile, Lilongwe Water Board Chief Executive Officer Siri Mbewe assures that interventions are underway to boost water provision, including infrastructure rehabilitation, increasing water volumes to meet the demand.
For the immediate term interventions, we are looking at issues that or interventions that we're putting up to address the issues that we may be having now. Suffice to highlight that we have been implementing our strategic plan, and over the period of our strategic plan, we have really put up interventions that really have addressed most of the issues in terms of potable water supply in the city.
Lilongwe Water Board 2020 to 2025 strategic plan aims to improve water supply, reduce non-revenue water, increase access, and strengthen financial sustainability and institutional capacity. Catherine Banda, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Authorities in Mangochi have challenged local leaders to take interest in championing hygiene campaigns to build long-term community resilience against waterborne diseases. Director of Planning and Development for Mangochi District Council, Chris Nawate, made the call during the annual global commemoration of Handwashing Day. Francis Banda has filed this report, read by Owen Mavula.
Global Handwashing Day is dedicated to increasing awareness and understanding of the importance of hand washing with soap as an effective and affordable way to prevent diseases. At district level, Mangochi District Council, in partnership with Water Aid Malawi and other partners, organized a special event at Makawa Primary School ground to highlight the importance of the day. Speaking at the event, Director of Planning and Development for Mangochi District Council, Chris Nawata, called for collective effort in motivating people to improve their hand-washing habits. According to Nawata, voices of traditional and religious leaders in communities can play a vital role in convincing their subjects to observe good hygiene practices.
Hand washing is part of prevention, preventive health intervention, as opposed to treatment. And we know that treatment is usually costly as opposed to prevention. So that's the message that we're emphasizing to communities here, that if we invest our energies, time, and social and behavior change communication, and develop the culture of washing hands, the effect of that is far more, benefiting to the community as opposed to the vice versa.
In a separate interview, Water Aid Hygiene Behavioral Change Specialist Maria Soko said behavioral change is one of the critical areas requiring attention for people to adopt good hygiene practices. She said Mangochi needs much attention in fishing sites where people live a temporary life without necessary sanitation facilities.
It's a behavioral change issue. It cannot happen in a day. We have to really work hard, and we really have to reach people everywhere. You know, this is just a commemoration, but most activities should happen, like in communities, healthcare facilities, not here. This is just to commemorate, just to remind people, just to recognize the importance of hand washing with soap.
Other partners at the event were Southern Region Water Board and Evidence Action. At the climax of the event, the partners donated water buckets, sanitizers, tablets of soap to boost hygiene practices at Makawa Primary School and Koche Community Health.
The National Council of Higher Education in Che has rolled out the Awareness and Perception Survey Secondary School Visits project. The initiative is designed to equip secondary school students with knowledge and tools to navigate higher. Our reporter George Banda has more.
Speaking to an attentive crowd of students at the Vumbwe Community Day Secondary School in Choro, Nche's Director of Standards and Quality Audits, Jafet Bakua, underscored the project's mission to empower students to make informed choices about their tertiary education. Bakua urged the students to enroll only in institutions accredited by Nche to ensure quality education and recognized qualifications.
It's important for us to do this because we don't want them to get registered or enrolled into institutions that are not recognized by the National Council for Higher Education. You may be aware that Nche is mandated to regulate higher education in Malawi, but also to register and accredit higher education institutions. So as these students complete their secondary education, they will get enrolled into some of these institutions of higher learning that may not be registered by us or accredited by us. And so we want to bring this message to the students in their schools.
Head teacher for Vumbwe Community Day Secondary School, Anu Satambala, commended Nche for the project.
We are very happy to receive these people because of the information they are giving us, particularly to the Form 4s who shall be moving away anytime into the field. This information is very important for teachers. They may be explaining, yes, about universities, about colleges after Form 4, but they might not probably satisfy the learners' needs. That's why it's very important to receive J around here.
For Eric Kazembe, a Form 3 student at the institution, the visit is a game changer as it has helped him and his fellow students to understand the importance of choosing the right institution for a tertiary education.
This program, it helps us to have a little knowledge about what should we do before we writing our examination. For example, we can learn for just 4 years without obtaining anything. That can make us to wasting money in our time and reducing the interest of our parents in terms of education.
The initiative, which is currently at a pilot phase, is being funded by the World Bank through the Skills for a Vibrant Economy SAVE project. George Banda, MBC News, Vumbwe, Cholo.
In sports, sponsor of the Malawi women's football team, Scotia's National Bank, has pledged full support to the team after its remarkable 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualification. Marketing and Corporate Affairs Manager for the bank, Akosa Hiwa, says they are excited to be part of the history. Our reporter, Foster Maulidi, with details.
As the celebrations for the Scotia's historic Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualification continue, the team's sponsor National Bank has described the achievement as a big statement of more possibilities. Akosa Hiwa, the bank's Marketing and Corporate Affairs Manager, says they will give all the needed support for continued landmark achievements at the continental stage.
We can see that the low-hanging fruit, we're actually getting them right now. We look forward to the team going to Morocco. We know that they're going to bring great things. We believe in them, as we said when we came in from Angola. This is something that we predicted as a sponsor, and we're very happy to be a part of this historic moment. We're very happy to be driving growth in women's football.
Scotia's captain Tabitha Jawinga expressed gratitude to the bank and Malawians for the support, describing it as a driving force for the success. Chawinga says the team has the quality to make the grade at the tournament and appealed for unity and continued support.
We are so happy. You see, this game was so tough. To the end, we win 2-0. We're supposed to be happy. I believe this happiness is not only for players. This happiness is for all the country, all Malawian. They are happy, including you journalists. I hope you are happy the way we qualify.
Scorchers became the fourth team after Zambia, South Africa and Tanzania to join the host Morocco for the 16th edition of the competition. 12 teams will compete at the next year's edition, which will run from 17 March to 3 April. Foster Maulidi, MBC Sport.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika says he will announce a full cabinet next week with a warning to dismiss non-performance. Samia Suleiman elected Speaker of the Malawi National Assembly. And in sports, sponsor for Malawi women's football team, National Bank of Malawi, pledges full support to the team after its remarkable 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualification. You can get all our latest news updates on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You have been with me, Simeon Boyce. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely morning.
Good morning and welcome. It's time for weather update. Windy, partly cloudy and hot conditions with localized thunderstorms are expected over some areas. This is all due to an interaction between warm easterly air mass and fairly moist southeasterly air mass over Malawi. So this morning, warm conditions are expected over most areas, with Zuzu and Blantyre experiencing cool conditions. We should also expect windy and partly cloudy conditions over some areas. In the afternoon, hot to very hot conditions are expected within Gabu and Isanje, reaching a maximum of 40 degrees Celsius, Mangochi 36 degrees Celsius, and Kalonga 38 degrees Celsius. Windy, partly cloudy and hot conditions with localized thunderstorms are also expected mainly over the southern highlands and some few areas in the central part of the country. Thanks for watching. I'm